Hey there, film fans. I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
And I'm John, and welcome back to The Love of Cinema, a pod in which we'll challenge one another to discuss movies, both new and old, with a strictly positive critical eye.
That's right. And to avoid any lazy negativity, we decided that for this episode, we should make this a drinking game.
Just this episode, yeah.
Anytime we say anything negative or stupid about a film or each other, you're going to hear this sound. That means we're going to take a drink, and we hope that you at home drink along with us.
Yes, we do. So pour yourself a giant amber glass of motherfucking nostalgia.
Oh my God.
As we answer one of the universe's greatest questions, who are you going to call?
I really hope.
Oh, yes.
I really hope you have a full gigantic lug of beer for the reasons that I think you do, considering I know
guys check it out
early.
I didn't plan this, but you can kind of see the little, it almost looks like the dog thing from the movie.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, people, as always,
what are we doing, Jeff?
We're talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
As always, we try to keep it spoiler free for a couple minutes. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you could just get our initial reactions, takeaways, spoiler free, and then we're gonna go ahead and spoil the shit out of this movie. We are going to give you our recommendations of other things we've been watching. Lots of movies coming out. This is November 2021. All the indies are starting to hit limited release, so maybe we've seen some shit. And why don't we, before we get off, but what the fuck? What did I say?
Just some shit.
You
Come
said some
on.
All right, John, shout our people out so we can get into this.
Our people. We have a beer sponsor. His name is Carlos Barroso. The handle is Barroso Bar 2019 on Instagram. That's CBARROZOBAR 2019. And if you're digging the music on this episode, and every single motherfucking episode is provided by the artist Dasein. That's Dasein, Dasein. Head on over to soundcloud.com/Dasein-artist, and you can download all that music for free. For free, people. Don't be crazy. Go do it.
Speaking of our socials, if anyone doesn't goes to the YouTube, they can see John doing his Tom Hooper extreme right of frame shot now.
Yes. So if anybody would be digging this, or maybe the Mr. Robot. We're gonna do the opposite.
No, you got to be like the bottom left corner there.
yeah. Get that eye trace going.
We're gonna be looking to the weak side.
You guys, I'm so excited. Can I just tell you, I'm like genuinely pumped because I had a fucking blast watching this movie. I just want to say that before we start talking about it. I had so much fun in the theater. Been really excited to chit chat with you. Let's do it.
Are you fucking with me? Is that
real?
real?
I really enjoyed this. Did you guys not?
I was curious. The way you said it is not. This is not the way we usually do this. So no.
Our job out of the gate.
Our job is to prop up the movie.
It's like prom night all over again.
Dave and I loved Eternals on the podcast.
God,
I don't know if we loved it in real life, but we loved it on the podcast.
Podcast success there.
I still like it.
I realize it's flawed, but I still like it.
Yeah. It's like the weird,
I'm pretty sure my wife thinks the same about me.
Don't pull it back, David.
It's like how teenage Landry in Friday Night Lights kills somebody and hides the body, and that's totally fine, even though it makes no fucking sense. But we almost love Friday Night Lights more because of it, you know?
Aw.
Talking about Ghostbusters, people.
I love how we just waited for it.
How much did you guys love the original Ghostbusters? What was your experience with the original?
It came out when I was 12. I watched the shit out of it again and again and again and again and again. It was
right in your sweet spot.
Yeah, it was a formative part of my teenage years. So I am very, very protective of this franchise. I gave that other thing that they made a shot, and it was definitely not for me.
I know. Let's try to not compare to that other thing. But I feel you, Dave. I feel you. I was not 12 when this came out. Dave is way older than we are. Like not even fucking close.
I'm like Rod Stewart old. Look up Rod Stewart, kids.
I was probably around 8 when I saw this for the first time. One of those this is a movie you should see. This was a really popular movie from right before, you were old enough to actually start watching movies like this in the theater. So when I was catching up on cool 80s movies, RoboCop, shit like this, I remember I loved this movie. I watched it quite a bit. I remember as a child thinking why is Bill Murray so funny? I remember like even then not being able
Yeah.
to like put my finger on what was funny about him. And I remember loving the tone of the film because it's not quite an outlandish comedy. Like it rides the line. Like there is a little bit of the adventure thing.
And apparently, it's a
So-
thought. That's a thought we're going to have every decade forever.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
why is Bill
Yes,
Murray
yes.
so funny?
I mean, honestly, every single time. So I'm a big fan of this movie. I don't know. I don't know where to say. I've probably seen the original ones at least 20 times in my life. I don't know. How about you, Jeff?
I probably haven't seen the original more than like a couple times, although it was definitely one of those ones that
Really?
was always on TV. So like I would just pick it up, but very rarely did I like
Wow.
push play on it. Yeah, I didn't realize until I was a full grown adult and I was going to like improv shows and everybody was just making 80s movies references. I didn't realize like, oh, I need to really know. I knew the usuals, you know, your Indiana Jones and your ETs and Back to the Future and stuff. But I was like, I really need to pay more attention to the 80s.
He balked
right?
at, okay, so she's a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had seen it and I always knew Bill Murray was funny. Caddyshack.
Oh, Moranis. I love
and I
Moranis
love-
in that
I mean,
movie, dude.
Moranis, as a kid in the 90s, like Rick Moranis, man. It's too bad that he refuses to even do cameos in these things, but
You know what, dude? I think that's how I got there. It was through the Honey I Shrunk the Kids movies. I think I was more excited about seeing him
mhm.
in Ghostbusters because I don't think I had seen
Yeah.
any of the Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd stuff yet.
Mm.
Anyway.
Yeah, I loved SNL because that was like a go-to thing for school. So to have Aykroyd and Bill Murray.
I never saw them in SNL. All I got
Yeah,
because we didn't get that
makes
over there,
sense. Right.
like in Australia.
Have you
So
watched any of it now?
Yeah.
Have you like gone back to check
I
out
have
some?
seen I have seen some of it, and of course all the classics like Groundhog Day and Caddyshack and
Yeah.
everything in between.
Yeah.
Stripes.
Yeah.
Jaws! You goddamn Jaws! Yeah, amazing. Okay, so that's our experience with the original. I recently watched the movies that made us on Netflix.
Oh, yeah,
which does
yeah,
it, which
yeah,
does
yeah.
it
Good call.
Ghostbusters. Did either of you see that?
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet. That's like the cliff notes of all the movies you missed?
It's an hour-long version of how they got these movies made.
Sorry, I'm late to the party, but yeah, I know you saw it. Just go ahead and fuck you.
Okay,
It's
cool.
fun.
So-
It's very nostalgic, very sentimental, but it is touching. If you like,
All
they
right.
pick the right movies to do that kind of shit with.
because they had sequels. They had the all-female cast version of this a couple of years ago. But this is the one where Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and oh my god, Ernie Hudson. They do the tour. They did the talking tour. Jason Reitman, the son of Ivan Reitman, who was the original director. Jason Reitman, of course, directed Juno, Up in the Air, and a bunch of other things. So Jason Reitman is directing this. Apparently, Ivan Reitman was kind of hand guiding him, very similar to something in this movie that we won't spoil yet. Was there on set, so he really felt like this was a family movie. So obviously centered on the kids here, which was a bold move since the original Ghostbusters were very much adult and very much sexually charged.
Yes.
And now we have
Well,
Children.
that's true.
children, and this whole movie takes place in like a week in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma.
Yeah, just going to put it out there now. Do not wait for the ghost blowjob scene in this movie. It's not happening.
Buzz. Okay, so I'm gonna set it up, and then we'll get into our initial reactions to Afterlife. So the setup is, as I just said, Jason Reitman directed. He co-wrote this. Apparently, he handed the script to these guys a while ago, Aykroyd and the likes, and they said, "Okay, this is actually the one. We will give you our endorsement, and we will be a part of this one." So they had them locked in for a long time ago. This movie was delayed 4 times, I think. It was supposed to come out early 2020. So that Stranger Things kid is even younger than he is now. Now he's a full-grown adult. Somehow he's playing 16-ish in this. That is, of course, Finn Wolfhard, who's probably
Stranger Things kid.
I don't know if you know this, but he was in Stranger Things. That kid. That was. He's also in It. So you have the kid from Stranger Things. Okay, sorry, Finn Wolfhard. You have McKenna Grace, who plays his sister Phoebe, who, by the way, was young Tanya in I, Tanya.
Yes.
She's a young skater in I, Tanya. I thought that was cool. Looks
Look at her
completely different in
IMDb
this.
picture. It's crazy. She does not.
She was
look like
also
she does in this
she was
movie.
also she
That's
was also
right,
young
correct.
Captain Marvel.
She's already planning per post
Oh,
18
shit.
life. Oh my god, what the fuck? I didn't see that. Okay, nice, Dave. Carrie Coon plays the mom. You may know her from Fargo, and if you've ever seen her on stage, you know that she's
Yep.
one of the best actresses on the planet. She was also in
Carrie.
she was Ben Affleck's sister in Gone Girl. And then Paul
Oh
Rudd.
yeah.
I hope you can follow that.
Paul
Okay,
Rudd.
so here's our quad. This is the core 4 at the beginning.
Paul
here.
Rudd
You
has
have-
nothing to do with Gone Girl. There should have been a comma there.
You have Carrie Coon, is the mom of Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things and McKenna Grace, with Paul Rudd as the love interest to the mom, of course, who just also happens to be younger daughter Phoebe's summer school teacher, even though she's brilliant. She's in summer school. I'm not giving away what I think about this movie yet. And Logan Kim is a kid who plays the character Podcast, who
It's
is
so good.
a friend of Phoebe. The story is when a single mom and her two kids arrive in a small town, they begin to discover their connection to the original Ghostbusters and the secret legacy their grandfather left behind. That's the pitch. It's available in theaters only right now.
Nice lean in.
Thank you so much. That's audio technique there.
Use the mic.
What were your initial takeaways? The people are dying to know. What were your thoughts? What is your takeaway? We kind of got a hint from John. So
Yeah.
do you want to expand on that before we get to Dave?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess we've been seeing this trailer for several months now, but I mean, I was just so happy about the way it felt. I remember thinking throughout and afterwards, and I promise this is not a slight. This is a compliment because it is focused on kids. This is not an adult movie. Like the first one was aimed at adult PG-13 audiences. This is aimed at, more the adventure crowd. Like any age group can come see this movie. I remember thinking, if I was 12 years old when this movie came out, 10 years old,
pants though.
maybe. But like if you're
Scare
8 to
them into
10 and you
obedience.
don't mind getting a little scared,
Yeah.
I would have gotten this movie. I would have watched this shit out of this thing. I would have rewatched it and rewatched it and rewatched it. I think it captures that very Spielbergian like spirit of adventure. I thought the music was very John Williams-esque. I loved the way it felt. I loved that it was set away from the city to totally turn it on its head and not try to recreate the old one. It was a reimagining of a lot of the same ingredients, but set in something totally different. The children and the acting across the board is fantastic, which is a lot because every time you think about Ghostbusters, you think, you can't help but just remember those guys were totally in their prime when that first one came out. Everyone knew what they were going to get and they didn't let the audiences down. They brought it with their unusual thing. And I thought everybody here, I was really satisfied.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
that's locked and loaded.
Really good. Carrie Coon
Had that coming.
Carrie
Yeah, had that
Coon
coming.
and Paul Rudd were fucking wonderful together. I mean, their timing was so hilarious, and the children were great. McKenna, what's her name?
McKenna.
Kenna, and that boy who plays Podcast.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude, they were so good together. I don't know. I was very pleasantly surprised. I wasn't expecting anything negative, but I was really blown away. I really had a great time in the theater. I meant that sincerely when I said that earlier. We'll talk about some of the major choices they made at the end a little bit later, and we'll see how it clocked for you guys. But overall, I think I would go back and see this again if I had some, somebody who wanted to, or definitely if I had some like kids in my life, like nieces and nephews and stuff. I would love to have taken them to see this. This was a fun time in the movie theater.
Dave?
I'm gonna acquiesce to you at this point. I wanna see what you think.
Oh, Dave's gonna talk shit. Yes. I love it when he comes at us. Jeff, what do you think, dude? Is it me versus both of you? It's me versus both of you this week. Come on, come at me. What do you have an issue with?
This
I
is
was
why I
listening
too
to
damn long.
Dave. Yeah, I was doing it too. Dude, I was literally pressing it. God damn it.
this is why I was trying to listen to other podcasts, because I was trying to figure out how to like phrase it, because you're right, John.
Other podcasts don't have a drink penalty.
I should be feeling what John felt. I really should.
No. But like, tell me, why didn't you like
all
it?
there. I generally don't like movies where characters have to explain their personality to me. I generally don't like movies where I spend the majority of the movie saying, "Oh, I guess we got there now." How do you learn these things really quickly? I generally don't like movies that are comedies, but the only thing that I laughed at were the actual jokes, which, by the way, were hilarious. Her jokes were really fucking funny. Her polar bear joke is one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard in my life. Seriously, really, really
Yeah,
funny.
they were
I
all,
laughed at all
they were
those
all
jokes.
excellent jokes.
I actually am baffled that you just said you thought that Paul and Carrie Coon were funny together. I didn't find anything about what they were doing funny.
Oh,
There
I
was
liked it.
there was something like Paul Rudd's playing this summer school teacher who's really a seismologist, which is convenient. And the girl is not only a technician who understands the afterlife and is also a seismology expert at the age of 10, but she goes to hang out with Paul Rudd, who put on Cujo for the class, which is supposed to be funny. And I guess I laughed when he was like, I'm going to put Cujo on, which is a 1980s movie about a dog, the terror, whatever. It's like, okay, funny. And then he didn't play it. I don't know. He wasn't a character about it. He played it pretty straight. And then all of a sudden they're just like talking about earthquakes. And I was like, these things are happening really fast and I'm not A to Zing any of them. The way that Finn Wolfhard, who can't drive, all of a sudden is like fucking Evel Knievel, and a toy car is going 80 miles an hour. Like after a while, I was just like, I can't take every single one of these things happening out of nowhere. The original movie was brilliant because they kind of stepped into this, and then they basically did a time lapse, where they developed the business and they did their, so that way that you can at least like develop the skill. Watching these things unfold, where all of a sudden they're all the most skilled technician on the planet. It just, for some reason, it just didn't work for me. Sorry guys. I wish I had more fun.
Yeah.
I really do. Dave? That was so spoiler filled. Was that spoiler filled?
Not really. Not
Okay,
really.
good.
You were ambiguous enough to get away with it.
Okay, good.
I mean, as I said, I have a very special place for both movies. I even like Ghostbusters too. I'm a fan of that as well. I've watched that so many times.
What's his name with the hair? Every time I see an old man with like bleached blonde long hair,
Vigo?
all I think of Vigo, dude.
Bow before Vigo.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I have a very special, so I'm very, very protective. Like I gave the last Ghostbusters a chance, and then I went and saw this, and oh my fucking god, it's so good. It is everything I fucking wanted this to be. I walked out on air, and it is like,
good.
It's in my top 2 movies of the year. Top 2 of the year.
Wow.
Dave,
I will
cheers.
watch the
we need
shit
a cheers,
out of this.
We need a cheers button because we never actually agree with each other. But this is honestly, dude, I'm so glad you said that because I was like genuinely,
fuck you.
sure.
I fucking loved it. Jeff, go fuck yourself.
Me too, dude.
I loved it.
I might go see it
I'm
again,
with
for
you.
real.
I understand. I get
I
it.
loved everything about it. I loved everything they did. I felt like, if anything, the only criticism I have of the entire damn movie, so this is going to be a short episode, is that maybe they're a little in love with their location. Maybe cut the sweeping location shots a little short.
I feel like
The
that's
Hobbit.
every movie nowadays, right?
But yeah, everything else, perfect. Absolutely perfect.
All
Like
right.
the pacing was great. It was just, and I saw it in Dolby Cinema as well. So when they hit the jump scares, they hit the jump scares.
I saw it in Dolby too.
Yeah, I
Dolby
might
was
have.
cool.
I might have broken a recliner. I'm not sure. Like,
Wow.
I saw it in a smaller. I saw it in like a smaller regular digital and pretty much just 5.1 sound. It was still really, really
Yeah.
enjoyable. I should go back and see it in the Dolby though. Jeff, I guess I want to poke a little holes and see.
No,
if
we
you
don't. We don't
could-
have to. Okay, fine. Go ahead.
No,
I had a
do.
good time. I heard one thing. Just that would have soothed me a little bit. Is somebody said something like the secret ingredient that actually made the original Ghostbusters work, because that movie was delayed. They barely got that shit finished. They were like, the secret ingredient was cocaine, and this movie could have used some more of it. And I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of like that. I just could have used I could use a little more.
All right, so it
cocaine.
sounds like, I guess I do want to ask this initial question. I think I meant that sincerely when I said I was pleasantly surprised, because I didn't have any expectations when I went in. I wasn't expecting something bad, but because it's so far away from the original, I think I was expecting it to be like a total its own thing. Because
yeah.
the female one, I did feel like they were trying to nod toward the original. Like
that was
we're gonna try
almost
to recreate
that was almost alternate universe because they turned up as cameos as characters, like the Bill Murray,
that
and
was
that
a
turned
very
up as like not
strange one. I
Ghostbusters,
still
so
laughed,
it's-
but yeah, it didn't touch me the way this one did.
There's a couple of good jokes in that.
This got
There's
touching.
some funny stuff.
This was
But
touching.
Jeff, did you go in thinking that this was it just, you make comparisons to the original one? Were you kind of expecting it to feel a little bit more like the original one, and that kind of threw off your
No.
expectations?
No.
Because this felt like a Jesus, guys, Sloth. Hey, you guys, like a
Goonies.
Come on,
Goonies.
Goonies. This felt like a good like children's adventure kind of thing. I haven't seen a movie like
That's
this
for
in a while.
forgetting the fucking Goonies.
I know. Sure.
I agree. No, I like. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Look, I understand that I'm a curmudgeon when the reason that I don't see this as the Goonies is that the Goonies never turned into experts in their field overnight, and those kinds of things that you have to yada yada in order to like this movie. You have to yada yada the fact.
Are you talking about her?
This girl holds a
specifically?
laser gun, knows how to work it, knows how to operate it, knows how to charge it, knows exactly how to aim it and shoot it. The other kid knows how to work a trap. He knows that, you know what I mean? Like those kinds of things. I know you have to yada yada those things, but for some reason they held me up for this movie.
She did. Well,
I
would totally
really don't
agree
want to
with
shit
you.
on this movie anymore, but
I know. I would totally agree, but I'm glad you said that. I would totally
I'm
agree
gonna
with
punish
you. If
Yeah.
if and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this choice, but it does justify. Can we move into spoilers? I think we've given our
Okay, we got
2
it.
cents.
No, but you guys
absolutely.
loved it.
I
No,
will- I will-
I've spent way too much
but
time not praising.
I will
No,
say,
no, but
like, just before we move into spoilers, if you're a dad who wants to go, hey kids, check out the Ghostbusters, this is their entry. Because you
Yeah,
show them this, then you go back when they're like, maybe a couple of years older when they get the dick jokes.
Yeah.
And
I hope so. Although Casanova jokes are proven that this was not written with kids in mind, or at least they didn't have a kid consulted on how do kids talk.
But yeah, like
they call the
this-
kid
this-
Casanova. Nobody
this
says
is
that.
definitely
Kids
something.
are gonna be like, "What the fuck are we
like,
talking about?"
This is definitely something.
Oh,
If you
come on,
like,
dude.
if you were around the 80s and you loved Ghostbusters and you want to introduce your kids to Ghostbusters, this will do it. They won't
Fair
get
enough.
the cameos that we're going to talk about, but it doesn't matter. This
meaningful.
stands alone.
The cameos
I think
actually
so,
got me.
too.
That actually, those were highlights.
They were
I
well
liked them
done.
too.
All right, we're
So
gonna move.
spoilers,
we're gonna move to
spoilers,
spoilers. Yeah, everybody, check
Um,
out. Go and see this movie. For God's sake, go and see this movie. You'll be glad you did. If you love the original Ghostbusters and all the films of that era, this touches on it very, very well.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know
But
what?
my
If you
first
go-
spoiler-
If you
my
go,
first
it could be
spoiler-
fracking.
Spoiler alert is
fracking
on.
annoying.
My
You're
all
correct,
right.
right?
There, yeah, that's a good joke. Why don't you go fuck yourself? There's a so my first rebuttal, which and I Jeff, I do feel you because I remember up until they revealed at the very end, there is an enormous reveal. We are absolutely in spoiler section here, folks. You are going to see all of the guys back together. I'm not going to explain exactly how, but you will see all the Ghostbusters from the originals at the end of this
All
movie.
4 of them.
All 4 of them. And if anyone who's a fan of the movies will understand why that's a unique thing. So if one of them is a ghost, which is a very important part of the yada, yada, yadaing, I think they could have used 1 or 2 more moments of a montage where she first goes down to his laboratory, Spengler's laboratory, who is her grandfather.
And just yeah.
And
Read
just
books,
show
played around,
the
yeah.
ghost. Yeah, show him. You don't have to show him yet, but show that there is a ghost literally showing her things over a little bit more time. They stay in real time with her when she gets to mess with the backpack, the gun, and then they kind of cut to the next day. I think if they had showed just a couple more moments of her
Yeah.
being assisted by an invisible force, learning things, I would have been like, got it. This girl just stayed up all night learning enough for us to justify the following scene. So I did feel that just a little bit until they really clarified it at the end. I wonder if there's something that they cut out of it because they thought it was too much info too quickly. But I could have benefited from that.
I mean,
and I don't think it would have
if
taken
there's
anything
a
away.
director's cut, I'm on board. I will watch the shit out of that. Like if there's more to this,
Jeff, you
I
didn't
know I
think-
said it pacing maybe slow down, but that was just the location
I don't
shots. It
think
was like I
so.
got it, but
I
yeah,
liked
no.
the location. I
Um,
liked how they were
locations
messing with
look
that. I
cool.
remember thinking like, this is fun that they're shooting it so differently. It still has a similar tone to what
Yeah.
you kind of expect from the childhood adventure stuffs, but they shot it in a way that really felt like they were in the middle of nowhere. I think it's good that it felt a little slower at times because you did kind of get the sensation that there really isn't much happening in this one street town.
Right.
That's
One of my
true.
favorite moments, my girlfriend and I laughed at this so hard, when the kids get arrested for driving illegally in
Yes.
the Ghostmobile.
Driving illegally, they
Um,
trashed the fucking
and
main
destroying
street. They
Trash,
blew
yeah,
up the
shooting
main
up the whole
street.
park and everything. Paul Rudd and Carrie Coon come in after a date. They're on their date down the street. It's a tiny town, and they go.
And
to the
she's
cops
literally
and they're
just
like,
said, "I wish she'd get in trouble more."
"Yeah," and literally just
That's
said
good.
that, and the cop is like, "We pulled him over driving illegally," and Carrie Coon's like, "They're just children," and Paul Rudd like overlaps when he says, "It's Saturday night." Like,
Yeah.
like it's come on, it's no big deal. Like, of course these kids are out breaking the law. Oh, come on, man. You really didn't think anything they said was funny? to each other. I thought they had great chemistry.
Yeah, they were great.
I liked when he was joking around about it moving too fast. He's like, it's moving way too fast. Like
This
those
is
kind.
moving way
Yeah,
too fast for me.
yeah,
You
those
just
kinds,
thought,
those
yeah.
kinds of things. Those
Yeah, that was.
I liked when she said,
I just want to say one thing though, quickly. In my opinion, McKenna Grace, best on ground. She
Wow. I mean,
anchored.
she
Yeah,
anchored
performance
this
is
entire
great.
film. This might not have worked without her to anchor what was going on.
Yeah, and
She
to
was
push back
remarkable.
the gimmick of was just a total gimmick that she can't express herself, so she internalizes everything, which again is kind of explaining her character, but it works really well because again, skeptical Jeff was sitting there going, are somebody going to be spooked by this ghost who's clearly walking them through and moving lights? Is somebody going to at least mention like, oh, this is weird, there's a ghost guiding me down a hallway? But she for some reason pulls it off. They let the actor act, the director let the actor act, and I feel like she closed that hole. That's what I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Especially when you're up against, in terms of like knowing it's going to be a child-driven story, and Finn is in this thing with, in this film with her. You kind of think like she better step it up. That he's a great actor. He's a really, really talented young man.
I felt
And
like he was
she really
sidelined.
crushed it.
I was like, Finn,
I
who?
mean,
by
in
the
a
end
great
of
way
this?
though. No, I thought
Yeah.
it was like he knew his role.
Yeah, he
They
had.
edited his role,
and
he
it's really
played his
funny
role
because every
correctly, he
one
was
of
just
them,
supporting.
every one of them had a comparative Ghostbuster,
Yeah.
like a comparative original character, and they met up with them
Yeah,
at the
podcast.
end. So yeah,
Podcast was totally Aykroyd, right?
Aykroyd, absolutely, yeah, because
I mean,
he was
was
face
so
to face with
good.
him at the end. Yeah,
He was so cute. He was so cute. He was so funny to me. I
that's his
really liked
feature
that
film
kid.
debut.
I mean, he nailed it.
He
No
nailed it.
jokes.
Logan Kim, I
No
will watch
joke.
him in anything he chooses to do from this point on because he was fucking phenomenal.
Me
Yeah,
too.
that was
Setting
really
the
fun.
mood. Yeah, I think he's gonna make us laugh for quite a while.
Well, Aykroyd had the moment with him at the end too. So
I have to ask, did anyone recognize J.K. Simmons?
You were my
Yeah, yeah, of course.
subscriber? Yeah, JK. Yeah. Why was he
well,
in there?
well, he was in other Reitman movies, right?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
he's
know,
in
but
Juno.
like, oh my
He's just
god,
in- he's just in the
I did
club,
not,
so
I
feel
didn't
like-
not even recognize him until I realized later when I
Of
was looking up
course.
cast.
Yeah, I don't
was
think
like,
you're supposed to until
yeah.
he stands up. and you're like,
I
what
didn't
the fuck?
recognize him in the tomb because that was obviously
No,
somebody else.
exactly.
And then he stood up and he was like, "Oh my god, it's so good
Yeah.
to see!" Wah!
Yeah.
So that was really.
Stood
that
up,
was
guys,
really
let's
funny.
stood up and threw a symbol at someone, and
All
All
right,
right,
I
let's
said
go
my
from
thoughts.
the
Now I just
beginning.
want to
Hold
have
on.
fun. Yeah, let's go from the beginning.
Yeah, let's have fun.
I did not expect a vicious
loved-
death at the beginning of this movie.
I was gonna say, no, I'm just about to talk about it. I loved the opening.
Opening was awesome.
Yeah,
Again,
me
that was
too.
the first
Awesome.
moment. At the end of the opening, I was like, "Oh my god! If I was a kid, I would watch this movie like every fucking weekend
but
for a year."
also on another note, I was like, because obviously the opening happens with like Egon, and I'm like, don't show him.
Don't you fucking show him?
And they did it in silhouette, and it was fucking amazing because whoever they used looked just enough like him in silhouette, and it really worked for me because I was like, yeah, you included him, and he got his moment, and then
And Dave, you said it earlier that it might be a little too scary for little kids. I think you're right. I think they did a good job, and it's in the opening. Like, you know what tone of scary this movie is going to be. There's a little bit of genuine fear and pop out at the beginning, and you know it's not for small kids, but it is family friendly, but maybe not for super young kids.
It is definitely family friendly. It'll put your 6-year-old in therapy, but your 8-year-old will love it.
8-year-old would be great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
There's some touching stuff too. I mean, it got me at the end. I wasn't. I think it helps that we love the first one so much, and
Yeah.
we know
The end
what happened
nailed
to
me
Harold
so
Ramis.
hard.
Yeah, I mean, but it really did
But
touch me when
Jesus,
she
you
when
know
she
what?
went down and saw when Carrie Coon went down and saw all her pictures. That touched me too. I was like,
That got me
"God
as
damn
well.
it."
You know what really got me? When Dan Aykroyd answered the phone and he was like, Egon
that
can
was
rot in
so-
hell. And then she told him that he died.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Dan Aykroyd channeled his actual reaction from when he found out because his performance right
Yeah.
then was fucking amazing. Like,
Yeah, it's inescapable that
I leant back in my
The-
chair and hurt with what Dan Aykroyd
it's
did.
inescapable if you're an adult and you know anything about these men and Harold Ramis and his relationship with the other guys as they moved past Ghostbusters in their careers and passing away too young. I think it's unavoidable that you're going to have an extra weight that you project onto their scenes. But I'm telling you, that's not why I liked this movie. If honestly, those
that just
last
made
parts
it,
at
that
the
was
end,
the cream. That
it was
just made it
fun.
even
Yeah,
better.
you're kind of waiting for them to show up. You're like, where, somebody's got to save the day. Because honestly, you guys, I was counting just structurally. They did like the really good classics build up, fail, build up, fail, build
Mhm.
up, fail. And I was
Whiff of death.
worried when they first got to, I was worried when they finally got back to his farm that they were only going to do it once, that somebody was going to fail. And then McKenna was going to pull it off correctly, hit the pedal, and it was going to be game over. I was so glad they made him fail twice to
Yeah.
get back to one last
Yeah.
rule of 3. So they basically do it 3 times in the last hour of the movie. And each of those sequences worked so well for me.
That one reveal where they turned up, the only thing that would have made it better with me was if they would have gone, "Did you miss us?" and launched the fucking proton packs at that point. I wanted a shot. I wanted a shot.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, I was trying to remember. What's that line that Bill Murray screams at her when they first get up to the apartment in number 1? He screams at Dozer. It's not one of the quotes that he quoted to her in this one, but it's one of when they first show up and he like yells something at her to get her attention. I kind of wanted. I can't remember what it was, but I used to quote it all the time.
I can't remember that either.
He definitely gets up there and he says something to her though. But what did you guys think of? All right, now I'm not sure if it totally worked for me, even though I thought they were super cute. Did you like the little Stay Puft Marshmallow Men? Did you like that, or was it too?
I did, and I liked that they came back and had relevance, and that in another way, someone ended up covered in marshmallow by the end of the movie.
That was cute. Because in the store, I'm not gonna lie, Paul Rudd cracked me up just walking down the aisle. I was laughing at him.
Yeah,
and then when he sees the pops of the ice cream, he's like, "Yeah." He walks up and so I was like, "Okay, this is cute." And then that started happening, and I was kind of like, "What's going on? Why is this?"
Yep.
Why are they here? I mean, I understand in the context of Ghosts are being released, but I also thought it was kind of strange that they were just doing it. It kind of seemed like the CGI for the CGI's sake. So if it didn't come back at the end, I think I would have been like, why? They may have just pulled a little Phantom Menace there just for the sake.
They did a Baby Yoda, but they did Baby Stay Puft Marshmallow Guy.
Well, that's what everybody was thinking, right?
Yeah, for me that worked, and I also straight after that we run across the Gatekeeper and Keymaster, obviously the dogs,
right?
And the CG artists who worked on these things. I actually saw a photo today of the guy who originally worked on the claymation ones, the original ones from Ghostbusters. Posted him working on them on a scene today, and I was like, oh my fucking god! Like they made these things. They were CG, but they made them look like the originals.
They did.
Right,
I thought they were
right down
really
to like the movement that they do when they like coming out and they fall and they're trying to scrape, and like it's like the poor bastards still can't make a turn, but like all this time later, but like the CG mimicked exactly what the claymation did. So it was like they could have made them cooler, but they didn't. They made them exactly what.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
Dave, I don't want to speak for you, but I think another reason that I really enjoyed it, and I bet you're going to agree, is this had Stephen King written all over it, man. Just like small town in America where the center of the universe starts to implode, like mysteries that only kids can solve. I'm game.
I love that Evo had a backup plan. Like
that was fucking weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like, yeah, we're gonna build a building in New York, but just in case we've got this tomb standing by.
I do like how she tore him in half. That was awesome.
Yes. Also, what the fuck? Olivia Wilde as Gozer?
That was her. Okay.
That was her. Like, yes, uncredited, but it was her. Yeah.
Oh, and somebody else. And I was like, Josh Gad was the other ghost.
Yeah, he was the gobbler.
Yeah. The metal eater, right?
Yeah.
What? That was a known actor playing that?
That was Josh Gad.
For the facial features.
Yeah. Oh, for the facial features. Wow.
But Gozer in this, when she first came out, I leant forward in my chair and I was like, fuck me, that is a good like recreation. The appearance of the whole thing this time, like the stairwell and everything. And I love that straight up they fucked with the program with the dog. Like they managed to get one of them trapped. So it had to jump to something else. And so there was like this whole like the tricks that they had didn't work. But the new tricks that the kids were trying worked, and then they tried the normal trick, and then that didn't work. But like her new costume really benefited for modern special effects, because like the original costume was cool. This was like it had lights flashing inside. Like there was texture to Gozer this time.
Those are always reminding me of our Jeff and I had a dance professor, Nina, and she goes always reminded me, or Nina always reminded me of her. That same like intense haircut,
Yeah.
just so intense. Oh, I love that woman. But yeah, I agree. I thought that Olivia Wilde fucking nailed it. And
There is no Jete, only Zoo.
yeah, I mean, I'm glad they didn't have her talk too much. Like there were so many
Yeah.
things that I appreciated about it. I either wanted them to do this or I wanted them to bring her out way earlier and have her actually have some kind of arc. But I'm glad they stayed with this because I think it worked well
just
into those
say
final sequences I was talking about.
the "Are you a god?" was perfectly timed. I only hope to ever have the comic timing they had for that one particular sequence.
You're not going to have Bill Murray's comedic timing. So.
Yeah, no. Just
We're never going to have it.
yeah. If I cook him
what
and
else,
eat him,
dude?
maybe I'll get it. I don't know.
Jeff, what did you like about it?
I liked all the production stuff that Dave said he didn't like. I love the sweeping landscapes. I love the driving the car
did
through
too.
the grass. I love
Driving the car through the grass was
haystacks.
amazing.
That was really cool.
No, I didn't not like it. I was just like, enough with the drone. Come on.
That might be my only. That car through when he first busts out with the ghost car and he's driving through the wheat field, folks.
Those axles would have shattered.
Oh, I mean, game over.
I don't give a
But that
fuck.
was
Who
actually
did
the
not want to
only
do that
time-
with the Ecto? Come on.
That was the only time where I was a little disappointed in their music choice. That's the only like needle drop with a song. They had this great like adventurous score going the whole time, and they went with like a rock and roll. I didn't recognize the rock and roll
I did
song.
not even know there was a song there. I was in that car.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I wanted that adventure. Uh-oh. Oh, sorry, my internet just went fucking
No,
ballistic. I'm back, you
I
guys.
think everyone's
Might have been
internet just
mine.
went to shit.
Okay.
Can't wait to hear what it sounds like on playback day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Anyway, Jeff, what else did you enjoy? Anything else? How about the?
I did. I got moved once. Once Aegon, you could start to see you could start to see him come to life. Like I got moved by that. Again, I wish I was introduced into that. They're just like, oh, so ghosts are real. My grandpa's showing me all these. Like something got me into that a little bit better, if I'm being completely honest. But then once it happened, and once Carrie Coon's character didn't once it was like, okay, fine, the lamp is it's clearly there is something like moving this lamp,
Yeah.
and fine. But like once I got over that, then
It's good to see the opening from Pixar still getting work.
that's what. Yeah, exactly. Funny. I think we buzzed you at the same time, so you only got a half buzz there. I
agree with you, Jeff.
The
It could have benefited
characters,
from that.
the characters are great. I loved them going to jail and all of the stuff getting sent to jail, which was a nice little obstacle, like Breaking Bad and all the other good, like, how do we get shit out of jail in order to go, solve crimes that
I
people
love
don't
the
even
other
know
girl.
exist.
The other girl messed with him when he was in jail.
That was funny.
That was funny.
Unexpected.
Yeah,
And
Unexpected.
did the who you gonna call land for you guys?
it did.
Yeah.
It did. They nailed it because it was just a throwaway, and I was like, I would have done that
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Well, of course, the answer is not you shouldn't call it Ghostbusters, even though she
But
does.
she did.
Jeff, I do agree
I
with
think
you.
that's
Though.
cool.
Okay, I just
I
have
think
to.
if she had been, because she clearly stated that she doesn't believe in them.
Then she's playing chess. Then she's playing chess against one,
Yeah.
and then following it down the
They may
hallway
have
and across the
benefited,
yard.
yeah.
But she's
If
an
she had
absolute
learned
realist.
that-
Like, she's a scientist. If you're presented with evidence of something, she immediately accepts it. These things
Yeah.
move by themselves. She accepted that it moved by itself. Okay.
Right. And I'm
Yeah.
even into this. I'm even into the science thing.
Yeah,
It was-
it's
it
not
was-
like
it was
modern
cool.
day internet. This is a scientist we're talking about.
The thing
After lunch, she was like, her mom was Carrie Kim was like, you love school. She was like, I love learning.
Yeah.
Public
Yeah.
school is a
That's
child work camp or whatever. I mean,
Yes.
You know,
I thought that
I
stuff was
to
touching.
be honest, I bought Free Guy. I'm buying this. I am going to own this as soon as it comes out
Nice.
on digital. I fucking loved it.
I would love the behind the scenes. $75 million budget. I mean, this could have
Yeah.
easily been a $200 million budget if they wanted.
I just quickly, a couple of things I want to talk about. Let's just go there. Major spoiler: the Harold
Yeah?
Ramis
Now's the
ghost.
spoilers.
The Harold Ramis ghost
Yeah.
melted my cold fucking heart. it was so like because he never spoke, and
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
glad
that
he
was
didn't
what
speak.
I think that was what did it. It was just like it was just a nod, and it was an acknowledgement, and it was almost
Yeah.
multi-layered. I loved it. I loved everything about it, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's
so
I think it
glad
really
they did
landed
it.
for
I'm
me.
so glad they did it.
Well, and they set it up really well because Phoebe, McKenna, she was struggling to hold the stream
Yeah,
the whole movie. So in this case, it's like, oh fuck, if she was struggling with the Muncher, Josh Gad, sorry, that didn't come out right. But if she was struggling to hold whatever the fucking metal eater guy is, she's gonna really struggle with Gozer, and then to have him hold it, that was cool.
yep.
I
And
think
also-
it really landed for me when Bill Murray said, "I thought you might show up." I was like,
That was cool.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it. They made Ernie Hudson work too hard. I guess they're really trying to give him stuff to do. Also, the story with Ernie Hudson, I do feel bad, but part of the reason that he was cut out of the first movie so much is really because Bill Murray was so good that they expanded Bill Murray's character. They improvised his way into a bigger role, and then Ernie Hudson's character had to suffer. So that does kind of sucks. But every time we're like, we love Bill Murray from this movie, Bill Murray from this movie, it's like, well, Anyway,
I
Okay,
used to
so
wait on Ernie
on that
Hudson
note-
at the Brooklyn Diner. Very
on that-
nice man.
yeah. But
I love the
anyway,
guy.
they made Ernie
that
like
note,
turn and look and see the ghost
Jeff,
like for like a minute.
Did
Before everybody else
you
did.
did you stay to the end?
Yeah, no, I saw the credits.
So the
I actually
two-
was
the two
not going
after
to stay
credit
for the
scenes?
second one because it pisses me off that I have to stay 10 fucking minutes after this thing. But I
Oh,
forgot.
there was a second one.
There was
But
a
I for-
second one,
I walked up.
But
and
I
it
forgot-
expands.
But I forgot my phone.
Okay, so straight
I
up,
ran back into the
let's-
theater. And then I
let's
was like,
go
well, I
there.
guess I'm here.
Where okay, so it was an accident.
Just tell me what it is, Dave.
Okay,
Tell me what it is.
so
Dave.
basically, it starts with a clip of Harold Ramis and what's in? Wow, I've forgotten her name. Damn it!
Sigourney Weaver.
No, that was
No,
the first one. That was
the
that was
receptionist.
no, yeah, the receptionist.
Was
Back
from-
in
she
from
was in
the
this.
from the
That's
original
cool.
film, where she's giving him a coin for luck, and she's like, "Don't worry, I've got another one home." Then it cuts to her like looking at the coin, and she's sitting in Ernie Hudson's office because he's like a big CEO, and it comes out that he's the one that's been keeping Ray's shop in business. He's the one that's like helping them and that sort of thing. And the movie finishes with them opening the fire station doors and driving the ectomobile back in.
Mm-hmm.
And he just
I mean,
puts
yeah,
his
because they
hands on
definitely
it.
did they ended in New York City.
They drove
Yeah.
into New York City, but yeah, he drives that thing in. They drive that thing into the firehouse. They're back.
Okay.
cool.
And
And Ernie
I
Hudson
know
has a
they're
bigger
back
role in it.
because right at the very beginning of this thing, what the last fucking logo that comes up before this movie starts was Ghost Corps.
Yeah, I saw
And
that
it
too.
actually had
So
the
I
Ghostbusters
guess
logo. I'm like, does Sony now have a division just to oversee a Ghostbusters franchise?
if it's not the kids, I'm going to be frustrated. Though I don't want them to.
You know what? I'll take the
You know?
kids and anyone
And
else
Ernie
they
Hudson.
decide to. Yeah, Ernie Hudson's definitely going to be in it. I mean, yeah, I will see more of
he
him.
can be like the daddy
but
Warbucks.
I
the
love that
benefactor.
he was the because he had the whole I love this town, all that sort of thing. Like
Oh,
so
yeah, I
he's
love
he's
this town.
he's
Yeah.
the one that brings it back. Like I love that. It was a really good after credit scene.
They
Yeah.
gave him the moment with the ghost mobile with the what have they
Yeah.
done to you? Or
Yeah,
whatever.
but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
at the end, he's the one that brings it home.
I'm not gonna
and
lie,
buys
I
the fire
don't
station back.
understand. I didn't quite understand why we needed to see the Sigourney Weaver Bill Murray scene, but I guess we'll find out.
I'm pretty sure that was an in joke because in the like literally the credits were like special appearances by, and then it was like Sigourney Weaver, and the
It's
people
just-
next to me are like, "When the fuck was Sigourney Weaver in this?" And it cuts straight to Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah,
I feel like that was a joke. To like
just
it was a
just for
little
the kids
yeah
or the adults.
Maybe.
yeah.
It was Annie Potts who was in the first
Annie
one,
Potts.
and I believe
How the
believe
fuck
she
did I
was
forget
the-
Annie Potts?
she was like the
seriously.
real. Was she like the lady
Buzz on
that
myself.
that showed up to the house? Right. She's
Yes,
the lady that
she
shows
was.
up. You know who lives in New York City, by the way? If they're going back to New York City, Rick Moranis lives in New York City, Upper East Side.
Yeah.
Oh, he got his
So,
lights
we'll
punched
see.
out.
Hey man,
I mean,
we're gonna have
seriously,
your lights
I'm so
shine down.
sad,
That's right.
dude.
I forgot
yes,
Annie
but-
Potts. We got one.
Aw.
Annie Potts, shout out.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice,
So
nice. Yeah,
Rick
yeah.
Moranis is coming out of retirement to do another Honey I Shrunk the Kids movie. Apparently.
Yes, because he only left films to take care of his kids.
Well, yes. And then maybe the money ran out 30 years later. Things got more and more expensive really fast. I don't know. But yes, that is true in 1991.
It's a
So
pretty
been
sad
30
story.
years.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Kinda
Breast
liked it
cancer.
when
He was
they were
supposed to be in
doing
City
the,
Slickers. He was supposed to be in City Slickers when that happened. So
I
it
kinda
was.
liked when
it
they
was
were
tough.
I
doing
mean, you know
the-
what? He
the
did the right
catch
thing
up
in my
on-
book, and he's welcome back. If you're
I
coming
mean,
back, welcome back. I will go and see
infinite-
anything you're in.
Infinite respect, yeah.
Hmm.
Or don't come
when they
back.
were
do whatever
doing
you like, it's cool.
when they were doing the catch up on what happened in New York City afterwards, and they're like an actor bought up all of Tribeca.
Yeah,
Something
De-
about De
De
Niro,
Niro?
right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
just how the city had changed, and yeah, I mean, I guess I'm happy about them going back to New York. I'm not gonna lie, I think the thing that I really did love so much about it might get lost if they just start trying to recreate the old one. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed this reimagining. I'm not judging it yet. I haven't seen it, but I
Hmm.
think that was my favorite thing
Well-
about this one.
well,
was that it
especially
wasn't
especially since this
kids
is
in
the
New York
tomb.
City.
That is where the ghosts come from, right? That has the curse.
Yeah, they've set the scene. I'm very interested where they go from here because
Yeah,
see.
sure.
They've
let's see
taken-
what
they've
happens. You think
taken
they'll bring
down-
some of the.
they've taken
the
down
ladies
two of
back?
Gozer's points. Like, I maybe.
Please bring
You know
Kate
what?
McKinnon back.
Like, I-
So just
Multiverse, Ghostbusters multiverse.
Oh
That's one-
no! Don't do that. Don't do that. We got enough of that shit going on.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm curious. The movie's doing well financially, apparently. 44 million
Yeah.
in America, 60 worldwide. Which
They
is above
predicted 30,
expectations.
so yeah.
And I think it's gonna live on. It's gonna do well. So
Jeff, you think you would have liked it more if you didn't have a legal pad in your lap and while you're taking notes in a theater?
I didn't really take vivid notes, but in fact I could barely read them. But I don't know. It's a good question that I'll never be able to answer, I guess.
Well, 2 out of 3 hosts of the Love of Cinema Pod enjoyed this.
Hey,
The-
it was
the-
good. It was good enough for
That's
Meatloaf.
usually what it is. That's
The
usually what our
polar-
numbers are.
The
It's
polar
not
bear
just
joke,
not usually us.
the polar bear joke. The polar bear joke is worth the price of admission.
Her
for
jokes
sure.
are funny. I also like the cigarette and the hamster.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was pretty good.
It's really funny. The one thing I did notice when you're sitting there waiting for the after credit scenes, because I kind of felt like it was coming. Somewhere in those credits is buried a puzzle consultant. They hired a puzzle consultant for the thing on the floor that she had to undo to get the trap out.
Nice.
Imagine that gig.
That's
That was good.
It's amazing. It's
Wait, now
gotta
I'm
be
just
nice.
remembering things.
It's got to be
Hold
nice
up.
to have money.
What was your favorite joke? The polar bear joke? Because I just remembered
No question.
the whale. Go home, you're drunk. That was funny.
Yes.
That's good.
And also the grasshopper walks into a bar.
Oh, that's one of my
That's-
favorites.
We have a drink named after you. You have a drink named Steve?
I think I've heard that one before, but it's good.
Yeah, in my version it was Irving,
Really cute.
but
Really cute.
Polar
Anyway,
bear.
I think you should go see it, folks.
Yeah,
I think you should enjoy it.
absolutely
and
go
have
and
fun.
see this. You will not suffer.
How's
for
it doing money wise? How's it
Really
doing?
well.
We just
We
said
just
this.
said that.
Did you really? I was trying to
Budget
ignore
was
you guys.
75. It opened at 44 domestic, 60 worldwide, and so it's going to recoup by the end of soon. And then it'll get its 2 to 3x. It'll get a good distribution deal. They're going to make some more of these.
I'm leaving that up there till you
I know
drink,
we're not
John.
talking about this movie, but I want to ask you guys a question. Shut the fuck up. I want to ask you guys a question.
Sure, drag this
What
out.
the
Let's drag
fuck?
this
It's
out.
staying.
What the fuck was Morbius? Dave, don't go too crazy on me here, but I have never heard of that Marvel character ever before. I'm sure you guys saw that preview for the Jared Leto
I've been seeing that for a
vampire
while.
Morbius.
Okay. We've also discussed this. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I really genuinely had no idea what you were talking
Yeah,
about.
no,
You said Morbius.
Yeah, Morbius is a lesser known character, but he is involved in like the blood curse area of Marvel. So he
Okay.
falls in the
Good
same
lord.
reign
Oh,
as
yeah.
like
Okay, I remember you talking about
Blade
that.
and
Hmm.
all those sort of things.
So much
we'll,
of that stuff.
We'll
Well-
see. I don't know. Well, I don't know. It's Jared Leto. Things can get weird. I don't know. We'll see how we go.
Who knows what he's going to look like in this movie? Let's go ahead and do our
Let's do
recommendation
it.
for the week. That's Ghostbusters. Go see it. in
I'm
theaters,
still leaving
people.
the drink notification there. It's still happening. Like,
Oh, it's me.
You done?
For,
yeah.
I try to
Um,
just ignore everything you guys say and do.
All
That's
right.
what
So
I-
as always, at this part of the episode, we give our recommendations of things that we've seen, if we've seen anything. We usually start with Dave. Dave, did you see anything?
I did. I finally finished Haunting of Hill House. I manned up and
Nice.
watched the
Ooh,
final
nice.
episode. The final episode is really sweet. I want to say
Okay.
it's
I'm not gonna lie, I did not like the ending to that show very much, but I'm
It's-
glad you liked it.
yeah, it's kind of it's kind of not as terrifying as the fucking episode before it, which scared the shit out of me. Made me leave
Yeah,
off the
I
fucking
thought it was
couch.
gonna.
But yeah.
I thought it was gonna destroy me, but it is a touching.
Yeah,
image.
no, it is touching. And I also went a little bit back in time and watched the original Blade.
You're getting ready.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Yes,
Wesley
dude.
Snipes when he still gave a shit. Yeah.
Oh my god, I really, really, really like that movie a lot. I have all 3 on DVD.
Dude, the opening of that film, if that was me in that situation, I would freak the fuck out. Like,
Fucking Whistler, dude.
yeah.
Is that Chris Christopherson?
Yes,
Isn't that
it
Chris
is.
Christopherson? Nice, very good.
Because
the
guy from Roadhouse was unavailable.
Oh man, do you guys remember Roadhouse? That was so much fun.
Oh, Sam Elliott, dude. Sam Elliott would have rocked that role.
Oh, he totally would have. Roadhouse. I watched a show that I don't know if anybody has ever heard of this show before, so I might be the first person to talk about it. It's called Squid Game. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it before.
Number one show ever on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Finally get
numbers
why
are
there are
ridiculous.
drawings of that like doll everywhere. I mean, I'm finally getting so many things. I don't even know
All
what to
the
say,
memes
but
I've
it's
seen
super
you for the
violent. I'm
last
still
2
going.
months.
It's pretty
So, yeah.
crazy. Yeah, it's just unbelievably violent. I just can't believe they made that.
Have
Right.
you got to?
I mean,
Have you got?
it's intense.
Okay. Have you only seen a couple of episodes? Because when you get to episode 6, it's going to wrench the shit out of you.
Yeah, I
Six
think
is
I've
the-
seen
six is
5,
the
so I
one.
haven't.
Okay,
I
yeah.
haven't
This
seen
is the
6.
one,
watch
man.
watch the
Six is
next
it.
one. It's not as violent. It's more emotional. But fuck me. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, my goodness. Wow, that's unbelievable.
I'm gonna tell my Squid Game thing really quick. I teach kids twice a week, and I was on an hour-long bus ride, and I was like, I'm finally gonna watch Squid Game. So I downloaded it onto my iPad, and I watched it in my commute to the school. And I was just like, oh my god, on my iPad. And they do red light, green light in the first one, where you have to freeze to, otherwise you get murdered. And I shit you not, one of my classes was doing freeze dance with kindergartners that day. And I swear to you, every single time those fucking kids were like wobbling in their frozen dance, I literally was like, oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Take that, kid.
it was like traumatic. I was watching that kid wobble. I was like, oh.
He's
Okay.
gone. He's gone.
Honestly,
Guys, I
honestly.
watched King Richard, the Will Smith movie about the father.
How
of
was it?
Sabrina. I push play, not expecting to watch a movie, and I could not stop watching the movie. I could
All
not
right,
turn it
we
off.
may talk about that. We
Look,
might
there
have
you
to
go.
It's
talk
a
about
story,
that
you
one.
know.
Something to
Great,
think about.
good acting. Yeah,
It's,
come on. Yeah,
it's
what's-
great. It's great. It's really great. And what I will say to anybody that when biopics and stuff, just remember Venus is the older sister. So this isn't
Yeah.
just like, oh, we know the future. So it's so easy to be like, hey, Serena, one day you're going to be. It's like a lot of it was actually just the dad raising the 2 kids, Venus being the older sister. It was really.
You think Will's gonna get a nomination?
I haven't seen enough movies yet, but fuck yeah.
Does
he's
it even
really,
matter
really
anymore?
great. And of course they show the dad at the end of the movie and the talk, because Will's accents, with concussion that might have been the thing that held him back. But it's
Do
really,
you think there was a while? Do you think there was like a year or 2 where they considered making the Earl Woods story, and then they were like, "No, we can't do that."
just so many affairs? Well, they would need Will, and Will's like, I can't do that to my career.
I can't. I can't. I don't think anyone wants to do it. Oh, that's too bad.
Well, Will's in a weird spot because he turned down Django, he turned down The Matrix, he turns down anything
know,
good,
man,
but
he
then he
turned down-
fucking
I
does
know.
the genie in Aladdin, and you want to sit there and be like, Will, man, I'm trying to root for you here.
I
Like,
know. He
I
did.
kind of enjoyed
what was
the
that
genie.
one?
I mean, he was
Life
great,
After
but like
Earth?
After Earth,
Was
yeah.
that After Earth? Yeah.
Yeah.
Won a lot of
Wasn't
Razzies,
it?
but we
Yeah,
also hate
right.
the Razzies.
Fuck the Razzies.
He's really,
I still haven't seen
he's
Concussion.
really-
To be honest with you, I never saw him.
Yeah, I
in
never saw
Concussion.
that
I should
either.
probably watch
He's-
that. Yeah.
He's great. He's great. in
I
this
don't
movie.
really follow baseball, so.
All right, that's it for our episode on Ghostbusters Afterlife. Join us in all of our future episodes. Please like,
Ugh.
subscribe, say hi to us, leave us a review. Really appreciate it. Anything else, guys, before we go?
Nope. That was fun. I
That was
liked
fun. I'm pumped about that movie.
Fuck yeah, Dave's gonna buy it.
Yeah.
it.
All right,
right.
people. See you next time.
Yeah.